Sigurd wants my kingdom. He has gathered an army with the excuse of going to help his brothers in England, but I fear he could use these men to take my throne if he gets favor in the assembly. Now he has two options to play such a favor. First, Bodo's letter from the Kingdom of Austria. Second, Elvir Whitehair's death. Tell me about the letter, Bodo. Why is it so important? The letter is the finale to years of diplomatic efforts. The letter says Alfonso agrees to send 20 ships and 600 men to West Saxon. These men will cleanse the seas of Vikings. This letter is a powerful weapon. Keep it safe. If you want to keep your head on your neck, I would suggest you talk to Oath and convince him not to testify you against the assembly. Samson, quick. We need your support. Orms Vardy is a berserk and duelist. I hate injustice and must settle my debt. I'll fight on Oath's behalf. I did not expect this selfless reaction. Whatever happens, know that I will not testify against you at the assembly. You want Sven Bolnek and your mother, and I want to thwart Sigurd's plan. I'll help you, and you help me. From now on, you have my official protection and thank you. Let's go to sleep in the town tonight. The messenger approaches, beating his horse. Stops in front of you, takes a breath and shouts, "My king! Ulrich of Denmark invites you to the assembly being held near Ride. Since it's going to be about your complaint with Sven Bolnek and Sigurd Ragnarsson, you must go soon, or the judgment of the assembly will go against you." The messenger then kicks his mount and rides away. All right. Of course. They don't tell me until I'm halfway across the map. I mean, it's legit been 3 weeks since I did what I was supposed to do, and they said they were going to start the assembly. They can wait for me for 3 days. Right? A setting reminiscent of times past, when men lifted huge rocks to venerate their dead or glorify their gods, meets the assembly. As you approach, you hear more clearly hundreds of voices. Distinguish the tents and smells the food from the merchant stands. The assembly, or the thing, is not just a meeting where issues are discussed and judgments are made, but also an event where people around go to exchange news or sell their products. All right. Oh, here you go. My lord, you must hurry to join the king. Follow me. Alright, I'll follow. Sigurd shouts, I have more than 800 men ready to go to England to support my brothers, but all I hear are obstacles and these men embarking as Vikings. Sigurd, we will not prevent the embarking of these men. In fact, we are unhappy that they have not already left. These men will embark when they have proper leader. Guthrum was not to be their leader. Their leader was to be my brother, Olvir the Right-Hair, but he was killed. It's time to take this issue to the assembly. Oops, wrong button. Alright, I will approach the king. I'll Samson quick. Why have you been so long in coming? Sigurd Ragnarsson is looking strong. I came as soon as I got your message. Maybe it was your messenger who was delayed. No matter. I think they are also awaiting your arrival, which means that maybe I should not have sent for you. I suspect they have some ploy to launch. Sigurd Ragnarsson has complained of 800 men who cannot board because I will not let him lead them. That much is true, because I propose that Guthrum lead them. The problem is that Guthrum, some days ago, suffered the misfortune to have been killed on his farm. They accuse outlaws and criminals of burning down his house, whilst he was hosting a feast inside. I think it was Finn Bolnick, the proud man of Sigurd's herd, who did it. But I have no evidence or witnesses. Everything and everyone was burned with the house. Since everything taken together, the situation is quite serious. Since Guthrum is dead, Sigurd is pushing hard to gain control of those 800 men. I fear he wishes to use them to take my throne. Guthrum's dead, but we're not. Trust me, I'll help you get out of this. I'm not so sure. Your appearance in Denmark has benefited me in some ways, but in others, not so much. Greetings, Samson Quick. Sven Bolnick has permission to speak to the assembly now. See what that rat has to say. Silence. Let's see what that snake has to say. Sven Bolnick appears to be a determined man, confident, seemingly born leader. He's tall and strong, and possesses a strong voice. At long last, you see him face to face. He looks just as your mind remembers him, as he attacked the Woden Rick and kidnapped your mother. Finally, right before you, is the man who has so damaged you. Men of Denmark, you know me. When I was little more than a child, I was with Ragnar when he sacked Francia with 120 ships and more than 4,000 men. An adventure that the scouts will still relate. I am the man who led 400 Vikings in West Saxon, the strongest kingdom in England, to obtain the great fame and wealth. Therefore, men fear me across Fries, England, and Francia, but here in Denmark, they rightfully respect and love me. I had a brother, Olvir Whitehair, a better man than me. He was a man of honor, loved by the gods, but in the prime of his life he was murdered. Now the king protects his murderer. I have never demanded anything of the assembly, but now I call for justice. Is it right that his murderer be here among us, or that a king protect evil? Shall murderers go unpunished in the land? There's tears in his eyes as he points a finger accusing you. It is what we expected. They use you to attack King Hurrick and undermine his authority. Everyone knows your worth, Finn Bolnick, and the feats you've done in your past. But your words seem to indicate that a king could support a murderer. This charge is very grave. The assembly shall now listen to King Hurrick's response. Sven insults me. I never protected, nor ever will protect a murderer. If that were what I was doing, it was in ignorance. Samson Quick came to me for protection as a free man, and I gave it to him after he proved his worth. The story he told me about the death of Olvir Whitehair is quite different. Now it is time for the accused to speak in the matter. I'll appeal to the crowd's sympathy by mentioning my mother's kidnapping. My name is Samson Quick, and I am no murderer. Olvir's death was in self-defense. Sven Bolnick had kidnapped my mother, but Sigurd Ragnarsson promised to give her back to me at Ulf's farm. Instead, he sent Olvir Whitehair to kill me. Although Olvir Whitehair fought hard, during the battle, he was wounded and died. His mother was a bounty from off the shores of Fries. When I was raiding, I attacked a ship called the Woden Rig. She was my slave. She was my right. But I found that she was a Sidra. Now she advises me as my wife. What the heck? We have heard both parties. It is time to call the witnesses. I am Egil. You all know me, and many of the gods damn me if I lie. I was at Ulf's farm when Ovil Whitehair came. My father, King Horik, is always concerned about what happens in this land. He compelled me to travel with Samson Quick. Ovil Whitehair came with many men. I swear it was he who started the fight. Over died a good death, but he was the one who caused the melee. Samson Quick is not guilty of murder. We have heard from a witness. Thank you, Egil. Sven Bolnek, do you have any witnesses? I had an important witness, Ulf Thorisson, but he has not come to the assembly. Another man told me how my brother was killed, but he will not testify in this case. We would like to hear from the Jarls in attendance. What are your opinions? I do not have enough information to assess for or against. In my opinion, Samson Quick is guilty of murdering Ovir Whitehair. Sigurfrid? Golly. In my opinion, Samson Quick is guilty of murdering Ovir Whitehair. In my opinion, Samson Quick is guilty of murdering Ovir Whitehair. What the heck is happening? Invoking the wisdom of Odin, we are ready to give a verdict. I, Sigurd, son of Ragnar Lockbrod, ask permission to speak, because this case is nothing more than a branch of a big tree, and a branch may hide the real problem. Then speak, Jarl Sigurd, son of Ragnar, whose memory we all cherish, and who awaits us among the hosts of the gods, preparing for Ragnarok. He steps forward, attracting everyone's attention. As a respected and feared man, the shadow left by his father is still long. When my father was alive, this assembly of free men would not have had much consideration for a bandit who killed a good man like Ovil Whitehair. However, times change. Rather, men have caused that to change. Now this assembly, is but a toy in the hands of a king. That man, Samson Quick, is only a pawn of larger forces. My king, Sigurd Snakery, is not here to deal with Samson Quick. He wants you. He wants the throne, as we feared. Father, we should cut short Sigurd's speech. Samson Quick must admit his guilt and be punished by the assembly. He must be sacrificed to win this war now, or you may lose your throne. Sigurd Snakery is a shrewd man. He will not openly attack you in the assembly if you do not have the upper hand. You will be allowed to reply to Sigurd and can trust in the assembly. The assembly's decision will rest on the position of power between parties. Hence, we must not do anything that would cost us the respect of the assembly. The balance of power is very delicate, and here the Jarls are very important. We need to see what Sigurd has against us. Sven had a witness, Ulf Thorisson, who would have agreed that Ovir was murdered, but King Horik sent Samson Quick to Ulf's farm to silence him. I had another man, Lee Eriksson, who was very faithful and dear to me. I entrusted him with the mission of protecting evidence for this assembly, but King Horik sent Samson Quick to kill him. Talking fills the words. Yeah, everyone starts talking at the words of Sigurd. A lot of tension fills the air. Finally, the judges ask for calm. Sigurd Ragnarsson, you talk a lot. Insult and offend my honor. But you lack evidence or witnesses. This will not end well for you. Let him finish. All of us wants to know what's happening here. I just defend my honor. Yes, he has the right and permission to speak. If he proves what he speaks of, it may be time to change the kingship. King Horik is a good king. You better be able to prove this, Sigurd. Everything will come in time. But first, I want to continue with my assertion that the problem is much bigger than we think. 800 Vikings are ready to embark for England in the aid of my brothers. We could have been talking about more than 1,200 men, for the Jarl of Kennemer promised more than 400. But King Horik sent Samson quick to Fries to sabotage this treaty. As if that were not enough, the king then proposed that Guthrum lead these men, when I was the one that made all the effort to gather them and get the boats and provisions. Sigurd Ragnarsson, your accusation is very serious. Do you have any evidence or witness to confirm what you say? Yes, there is a man who has traveled with Samson Quick all that time, who is among us right now, willing to testify at this assembly. His name is Reginhard. He is a servant of the Jarl of Kennemer. God damn it, Reginhard. Reginhard, approach. Do you confirm that the words of Sigurd Ragnarsson are true? Yes, right. I met Samson Quick in Fries when he tried to gain the trust of the Jarl of Kennemer by killing Theodred, a person that I loved. Then, he betrayed the Jarl of Kennemer and came to Denmark, where he has pursued Sven Bolnek and Sigurd Ragnarsson, as he hates them as enemies. So, Ovir and Atli were killed, and he allied with King Horik. I swear, it's the truth. Reginhard, why? My quarrel is not with you, Eagle. Theodred was like a brother to me, and Samson Quick lied to me in order to take him and kill him. I won Samson Quick's trust and promised that one day I would avenge Theodred's deaths, and that day has come. I just want to be happy, have a farm, wife and children. But Samson Quick brings only misfortune wherever he goes. I need to feel protected, and Sigurd has promised me everything I wished for. Wherever you may hide from now on, I will find you, and I will kill you. I do not think so. We will never see one another again. I'll have my farm and wife and the protection of a Jarl. You'll be dead or an outlaw. King Horik, Sigurd Ragnarsson has made very serious allegations, supported by a witness. What do you say in your defense? I do not know this man named Reginhard. I suspect he is a liar bought by Sigurd, as he seems to have some sort of dispute with Samson Quick. At any rate, his testimony is not against me, but against Samson Quick, since he has in no way mentioned me or shown that I have helped Samson Quick in any misdeeds. If this is all that Sigurd Ragnarsson has against me, I ask this assembly for compensation for the insult to my honor. For a few seconds, Sigurd loses his composure. The gods know you were eliminating my evidence and witnesses, and you sent your dog after Atli Eriksson and Ulf Thorson. This man was with Samson Quick. He can testify you were involved. First of all, Reginhard's first master was Theodred, not the Jarl of Kennemer. Reginhard betrayed his master, Theodred, as now he betrays me. Would any man keep a known enemy in his herd? This man has just demonstrated that he cannot be trusted. Now this is a very delicate matter that may affect the stability of the kingdom. The judges shall retire to deliberate for a moment. Judges get behind a big rock before entering a heated discussion. All around you, everyone engages in energetic conversation. Some Jarls support King Horik, others Jarl Sigurd Ragnarsson. The assembly may either be the solution to civil war or trigger the start of one. Everything depends on the judges' decisions. You realize that no one approaches you. Everyone avoids you like the plague. You are also aware that nobody gave you the opportunity to present the case of the abduction of your mother. You feel you have not been more than a piece in a game of Heimstauf between the most powerful men of Denmark. Judges are slow to come to a decision. You're not sure how much time has passed, but it seems to take them a very, very long time. Many men around you have decided to sit on the ground. There are even merchants distributing food and mead. Reginhard remains in the same spot, silent, and does it without moving a muscle, as if carved in granite. Iggo doesn't look at you either. He is among the men around King Horik, advising and encouraging him. Finally, the judges return from behind a large rock. Olden Vidir, Odin Sagaltal, father of the gods and the Scaldings. We, elected by our peers, call upon your wisdom to guide our words. May our judgment reach your ears, and may those who do not comply with it be punished by hell. We have decided the following. In the case of the death of Ovia Right-Hand, Sven Bolneck shall receive a vergild of 4,800 peningas. Samson, quick, can you pay this vergild now? This is an outrage! 4,800 peningas for the life of my brother! This should be paid in blood! Sigurd pushes Sven back to the floor. Sven Bolneck accepts the decision of the assembly. Samson, quick, can you pay the vergild now? I have the money. And the assembly accepts the money and gives it to Sven Bolneck. The price for blood spilt has been satisfied. Before gods and men, the quarrel has ended between these two men. Odin, Thor, and Frey have heard what is here decided. May they punish any who do not fulfill their oaths. Regarding the case of the witness called Reginhard, who has been accused of lying, the gods must decide his culpability. As the accusation is grave, the assembly has decided that Samson Quick and Reginhard will engage in a holmgang, a duel to the death, on the island called Short within 6 days. 2 will go, but only 1 return. If one of them fails to show up, he will be declared a Nithingard, coward, less than a man. And this will be told by scalds and messengers to all the men in Denmark and abroad. You know what? I'll accept the decision of the assembly. I accept the decision of the assembly too. I'm no liar, but I regret having been a traitor. I am very sorry, Samson Quick. Well, when the assembly is over, the important men of Denmark will come get you and take you to Short Island to face your opponent. Odin, Thor, and Frey have heard what has here been decided. May they punish any who do not fulfill their oaths. This assembly has also decided on one last major issue. The accusations and insults between King Harik and Jarl Sigurd can cause serious damage to Denmark. Therefore, this assembly of free men, which is above jarls and kings, and answer only to the gods, has decided that a reconciliation between 2 men must occur. King Harik will give Jarl Sigurd a position on his council and amongst his most beloved men. Moreover, King Harik will pay 15,000 peningas in compensation for all the efforts made by Sigurd in the organization of the expedition. In return, Jarl Sigurd shall remain by King Harik, advising him and not leaving Denmark. Therefore, Jarl Sigurd Ragnarsson must relinquish control over the fleet that shall relieve his brethren. The fleet will be led by 2 other men, Sven Bolneck on the part of Jarl Sigurd, and Harald Haraldsson on the part of King Harik. The fleet will depart for England in a few days, without further delay. It is furthermore our decision that Samson Quick shall join as advisor to Harald Haraldsson, as long as the gods give him the victory in the holmgang. Otherwise, Egil takes Samson Quick's place unheard. One or the other should meet with me in the mead hall of Ride when the holmgang is over. Another George takes the floor, shifts his gaze from one part of the next until his eyes rest on you. The assembly, representing the gods and free men of Denmark, has spoken. These are the 2 parties, right? King Harik, Jarl Sigurd. I accept the judgment of the assembly. I will fulfill my part as has been decreed. I swear that I will uphold and enforce it. I also accept the decision of the assembly. I swear that I will uphold and enforce it. Odin, Thor, and Frey have heard what has been decided here. May they punish anyone who does not follow his oath. This assembly has ended. Everyone may leave now. It's time to go. The Kingdom of Westsaxa has declared war against the Kingdom of Northumberland. Mirrors have declared war against the Kingdom of Northumberland. Alright. Guess it's time for me to kill Reginhard. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to kill Reginhard until he betrayed me like that. Now there's no choice. Alright. There we go. A group of heavily armed men approaches you. It is led by Harold Haraldsson, King's right hand. Reminds you of your promise at the Assembly. It is the hour of the home gang, and your opponent is already on Short Island. They surround your party, and lead you to a nearby beach, where a gaunt old man waits in a small boat. You get in the boat, and two of Harold's men push it into the water. The old man, without a word to you, begins paddling towards an island on the horizon. The water is gentle. The only sound you hear is that of the oars on the water, striking in a slow and deliberate rhythm. The old man is not so old, but wrinkles of hard life at sea makes him look like an elder. He wears a worn and salt-bleached tunic, and the skin of his hands look like hard leather. His eyes are blue and crystal clear, and do not look directly at you even for a moment, but remains focused on the island. Up ahead awaits an opponent who was once a companion. The Assembly has decided that two go to Shore Island, but only one return. The boat stops near a beach, and after you get off, the old man paddles it a few tens of meters back into the ocean, where he stops and waits. All I wanted was a farm, wife, and children. I did not want your death, but I don't want to die either. I'm sorry, Samson Quick. Sorry I have to kill you. This is a long island. And there he is. Alright, let's do this. It's unfortunate. Sorry I had to do this to my first companion, but there it is. Two went to the island, but only one returned. You have been victorious, but at the cost of killing an old companion. In your mind, you remember the phrase that you heard so often from Reginhard. Guide averred, swell hoy skip. Fate must go as she must. The old man takes the boat back to where your warriors await at Denmark. When you arrive, they pick up their things and say nothing, aware of the gravity of the moment. Soon they are ready to go. Harold and his men have already left. It is time to look for the assembly judge called Absjorn in the Mead Hall of Ride. As I stop to rest on the way, your companions approach you. Their faces show concern. My lord, we want you to know that no one blames you for what happened in the duel. And everyone still fully supports you. What happened was inevitable, my friend. It was him or you. I understand the weight you carry on your shoulders, because I just experienced the same after the massacre on the Woden Rig. I know no words can soothe you, but nobody expected Reginhard's betrayal. None of this is your fault. Thank you for your words, but do not worry. I'm fine. I do not understand all the tears. Reginhard betrayed us. I trusted him. Everybody trusted him. Thought he was a good guy. And what he did was spy for Sigurd. He sold us out for a house and a woman. Reginhard was a piece of shit in Sigurd's eye. No. He was a desperate man who had lost everything. Desperate or not, he's a traitor. It's not worth spending another word on him. Let us go on our way. And with that, we're going to call it for today. Next time we will continue at the Mead Hall and Ride. We will see what Absjorn has to say. And ironically, we're going to be leading, well, we're going to help lead a group of men to England. Which is not really what I was going to do. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to betray the Vikings. Because as I have said, I have no love for the Vikings. That's all I have for today. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, win or lose, GG in the chats.